right, welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your agent of animated awesome, and your master of musical menace and mayhem. Today is not too much musical mayhem. There's, I think, 3 songs in this movie, but it says it's musical entertainment, so we're going with that. This is the Snow Queen, the 1959 U.S. version of the 1957 Russian film, and keep that in mind. So actually, it's quite good, and I've seen it. This is the second time I've ever watched it all the way through, and I quite enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to it, talking about it. Now, before we get too much further into it, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Have you seen this movie? Have you seen the restored version? Have you seen the Russian version? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you could watch just a few minutes longer than usual, the movie itself doesn't run very long, so I'm assuming that there will be some interstitials here, said like yesterday, and the trailer at the end will not be for the movie tomorrow because there's not a. Well, I don't know. Kung Fu Warlords should have a trailer, right? All right, are you ready? Let's roll. We start out here on a wintry Christmas day, Christmas Eve, maybe. It does look like the evening, with Art Linkletter and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids, and obviously a film crew. He's got a Santa Claus puppet that he's talking to, and they're all singing Jingle Bells very lustily, let's say. So this print came off the Internet Archive, and should have done my due diligence and found a better print, but I did in the middle of it, and you'll notice. But he passes out the gifts, and the little girl there, who I think he calls Ginger, in the background, he tells her to read the Hans Christian Andersen story of the Snow Queen. She's actually got quite a good presence. I don't know what her name is. Out of all the kids, she's the most natural in front of the camera. A bit sassy, but it's that red hair of hers is no lie. He gives this one, and I thought for sure it was a Red Ryder BB gun with a compass in the handle and this thing that tells time, but it's not. She wanted a baby brother, but wanted to be able to send him back if she didn't like him. That was a good line. So finally, she gives him the finger puzzle and says, "I'll tell you how to get out of it if you read me the story." He says, "I don't have to. Look into that mirror and say this chant about summoning the Snow Queen," which I don't know if you want to do. And then we get the credits. So these are the English, original U.S. credits, and because the restored version just has the Russian credits. So the movie was released in 1959 here in the U.S. and there we go, 1959 in the U.S. But it was created in It was released in 1957. In Russia. And it's a beautiful movie, directed by Lev Atamanov, obviously written by Hans Christian Andersen originally. 1957 songs, November 1st, 1957, Soviet Union, 64 minutes. It runs about 68 minutes in the U.S. due to that prologue we're seeing, English dialogue by etc. and so ons. Hugo Grimaldi did have something to do with it. He would later on do a bunch of things with AIP. And then there's the three songs. And then you do get the credits of the actors here in the movie, the U.S. actors, because why would you tell them the voice dubbers? So we start out with the Tales of Hans Christian Andersen. Right there is Old Dreamy, voiced by Paul Frees, Boris Badenoff himself. Probably right about the same time he was starting to voice Boris as well, 1959, 58, say. So he tells him a story. And yep, he's got a slumberella, which is what his umbrella, he calls his umbrella. And there we have our 2 young heroes. Gerda, the woman, she's voiced by Sandra Dee herself. So look at her, she's Sandra Dee. And that is Kai, or Kay, pardon me, voiced by Tommy Kirk, a former Mouseketeer, whom I've met personally way back when in the 90s, have his autograph. Very pleasant. He was also in The Shaggy Dog, which I really need to review because I really like that movie. And this is the town of Minsk. No, Minsk is not in Russia. St. Petersburg. So there is now these look like little kids here, but they pledge their love to each other and they'll always be friends. That's Gerda's grandmother, and she's telling him about how the snow and the land up north in the land of the ice and snow, where the midnight sun and something grow, is the Snow Queen. There she is. Snow Queen is voiced by Louise Arthur. Now, she's not highlighted, so couldn't tell you what else she's been in. There have been two other English dubs. Kathleen Turner did it in a recent one, and it's Wikipedia is just full of information about this movie. The animation's gorgeous. They did rotoscope, use a lot of rotoscoping, and even some live action here and there, not for the actors, but just for background scenes. It's beautiful. It's unlike anything at the time you would have seen. I mean, Japanese animation was just getting really started, especially their movies. We will be reviewing Panda and the Magic Serpent, but probably not the one you can. Well, maybe we will do both. You never know. So there's a shredding halo. Oh wait, that's not what that is. She's looking in her mirror, and Gerda sees a reflection, and Kay says, "No, I'll just set her on fire and melt her." Well, that's the wrong thing to say. She cracks the mirror, and off she goes. She blows the window open and infects Kay with a shard of ice in both his heart and his eye. So he turns mean to Gerda, makes her cry, makes old Dreamy cry. I don't remember why. There is an influence of Fleischer in here in the way some of the people look and act. Some of the background people. You can I think there is anyway. The Fleischer Studios. It would not surprise me that they had a copy of Gulliver, the Legend of Gulliver, from Jonathan Swift that the Fleischer Studios made. So she thinks that they're friends again, but he flipped her off the sled and laughs at her, cries, and then the white witch, the Snow Queen, and yes, I believe the Snow Queen predates the White Witch. The legend, Hans Christian Andersen predates that. So I mean, this is very. I mean, if you read Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, you're going to think this is the White Witch. It's not. She's got a sleigh. She doesn't give him any Turkish delight on a moonlit night. And off they go. And that's his other slumbrella. And they can't leave. But as soon as it's springtime, Gerda goes out and she starts asking birds and bees and a little billy goat. He says he was just born yesterday. He doesn't know anything. So there's some cute lines in here in the English dub. And she asks the water to take her to Kay. He offers her shoes. So she is shoeless for most of the rest of the movie, and including, well, as you'll see. So she gets in. So here's what one of the problems with this print is that the dark scenes are very dark. You can't quite tell what's going on. She's going through foliage, and then she runs into a castle and meets this old sorceress. Let's see if I can find out who that is. Maybe the Finnish woman, June Foray, the Rocket J Squirrel. So Paul and June. Paul does several voices, as does June, because they were that good. Old Dreamy comes back. He says she's not trying to hurt her, but she wakes up. The old woman's asleep. She sees a vision of their two flowers that they planted together, and leaves in the middle of the night. It's too dark to see. She runs into a raven here. And not a tern, not an Arctic tern.
Hey, Carl.
Yeah, right.
Here's a little riddle for you.
All right.
What kind of bird always says the name of our next band?
Oh, I guess, tern? An Arctic tern?
And what sound does an Arctic tern make?
Backstreet Boys?
wrong?
Well, why don't you tell us what's right?
I was thinking an owl.
Oh,
Who? The Who is our next band on this series.
The raven here is Mr. Corax. Corax is raven for in Old Greek, apparently, ancient Greek for raven. So she says, ask him if he's seen a prince or a boy with blonde hair and blue eyes, and he says, "Why, yes, yes, I have. Let's go to the palace. My girlfriend, Henrietta Raven. Why wouldn't you have gone with Roberta Raven or something?" So off they go. Now here is a picture that I took from the restored version, and look at it. Holy crap! The difference is amazing. You can see that there's Henrietta, there's Mr. Corax, and then we go back to this. It won't last much longer. So they go in, they're having a ball. They wait till night. She sneaks in and runs into a sleeping soldier, and then gets in there. Finds the prince, wakes him up. There, he's sleeping with a crown on his head. He lights his candles that way, which I think is very cool. And there, the guards have quartered her. He asks her what's going on. Now the prince is voiced by. Let's get right back down here. Let's see, Dick Beals. And there's the princess that is his fiance. These little kids having fiancés, also sleeping with her crown on. Um, that is also she's also voiced by June Foray. What a surprise! So, they've got to get him to the top of the world. And there we see another shot of the ice castle. Kay is now fascinated by ice shards, thinking they're as beautiful as diamonds. But he still remembers Gerda. That does not please the Snow Queen, but she can't do anything about it. So the prince and princess are so moved by Gerda's plight, they give her a chariot plated in gold, or solid gold maybe, and they bid her in a nice warm coat and a muff. I would think they gave her some snow boots, and they also gave her mittens. And the ravens bid her adieu, and now we switch over to the restored version, which is once again just really wish I'd have done that originally. So off they go into a forest, and they run into the robbers led by this woman. Let's get back up here. We have the old robber, female, June Foray, and her gang takes the gold, and they're going to do something to Gerda, but they took her muff. And then suddenly this robber girl, although they kind of refer to as him, is voiced by Patty McCormick. The bad seed herself does the voice here. And this woman, and she does such a great job, because the robber girl, who is called Angel in the dub, just threatens everybody, including Gerda. See, right there. But I don't know why they. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought that. Anyway, the two coachmen, they're like, "We're alive. Let's leave," and they run off. So they take him in. Angel sneaks her back there and has this menagerie of a reindeer and rabbits and doves and a fox, and is intending to put Gerda in there. But Gerda tells her the story of what's going on, and they become best friends, sort of. But she says, "Go," and the doves say, "We know how to get to the Snow Queen's castle, the White Witch." And Bucky the reindeer says, he's given the charge of taking them while everyone's drunk and asleep. He's at your service. The rabbits are all cheering, and Angel says, "Now go before I change my mind and make you all stay," and calls her a baby and while she cries, and lets everyone loose. And then they all come back to comfort her because she's lost a friend now. So, from a heel to a face right there in like the span of 3 minutes. But, it's a short movie and it works. So there's Bucky, just a lovely shot, running across the ice as it breaks and, just posing. And runs into the old Laplander woman, sends her a note to her cousin who's got magic with the fish. It's on the fish. He said, "Give her the strength of 10 men. But left her muff? Oh no." and it's snowing. Bucky goes down, and Gerda goes on and finds the castle. She wanders in, and look at the reflection. It's just the way it's lit and drawn. Once again, it's just the public domain DVD that's out there, and I'm sure the movie's in public domain, at least the US cut, just doesn't do it justice. It's not a bad print, except for the really dark scenes. Get out of here, girl, you kid, you bother me. It's pretty much what the dub says. But she hugs him and it warms his heart, and that shard melts. He cries, the other shard falls out of his eyes, and now he knows Gerda. They're happy. But we've got the big battle. Now, if this was a Disney movie, any kind, or most any modern movie, there'd be magic, zings, and zaps, and all sorts of things. But the White Queen says he's staying with me. Gerda says no, he's not. She mad. Her heart melts. Oh, because of, we love him, true love, and her heart melts, and it's spring. Man, even Aslan had to kill the White Witch, but there it is. So they head back with Bucky and his pals, and this one they meet everybody, and look, there's Angel taking him home, and all of her friends, and the king, and the prince, and the princess, and the ravens there. So everyone's happy. They say everyone, and that's it. They plant their little garden back, and then old what's his name says they do get married, but that's a story for another day. Dun dun dun. Well, and we never see it because that's the end. So there's the end of the English or the US cut, and the credits there you can see. So they only name one. They only give them. Oh, they do say Old Dreamy and Raven. June's only in there once. Joyce Terry is the princess. That says Joyce Terry. Oh, there it is. Sorry, blew it. But they do give them all one of the greatest, but only one. Now here is the. This is, I think, redone just for this particular fan dub. I don't know. There is a Blu-ray out, but I'm not paying $30 or $50 for it, or 80 or whatever it is. I like it, but if you can get it from the Internet Archive, why not keep it there? So there it is. Okay.
What are you doing tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky.
What?
Never mind.
All right. So that is our movie. And what we're going to do, this will be an experiment next week on Friday. Well, that'll be a 7-song Friday. So 2 weeks from today, we will review the Russian version because it's got English subtitles, I believe. If it doesn't, we'll get something else altogether, but I think it does. And I just want to see if there's any big differences. So tomorrow, we're also going to do another experiment and do Kung Fu Warlords, a.k.a. The Brave Archer, the first Brave Archer. And we're going to split this into 2 parts because it's 2 movies, and the first half is pretty complicated. So there will be 2 parts, one Saturday and one the following Saturday, which I figure is better than doing a 30 or 35-minute episode, right? Am I right? All right, my fellow agents, until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off and phasing out.
东邪西毒南帝北丐中神通，
碧海潮生皆玉箫。
你这个家伙，笨头笨脑的，你岳父聪明绝顶，不见得喜欢你。陈玄风是我郭靖所杀，你不找我找谁？从师傅那里偷来的九阴真经，降龙18掌，正好是阳刚为主。 将真气聚于掌。我师兄不准我学九阴真经上的武功，我教你。桃花岛主武功极高，动手吧！我借你的降龙18掌。好，
靖哥哥。
这，好，我们死也不够看。